From the first moment I met Terry Vo, I knew he was special. That was a decade ago, a few days after the then 10-year-old had almost been killed in a freak accident while playing backyard basketball. As Terry attempted a slam dunk, the hoop, backboard and part of a brick wall collapsed on him. His two hands and left foot were completely severed. Terry's story and the medical team's skill in saving his hands made headlines around the world. But even more remarkable has been watching Terry's unflappable attitude. He's never complained or felt sorry for himself. He just keeps on living and loving life. Seeing Terry Vo today, it's hard to believe that he is the same young man who endured such a traumatic injury as a child. Self-assured, smart and almost 21 years of age, Terry has never let the life-threatening events of a decade ago define him. But even now, he can never forget what happened when a game of basketball very nearly cost him his life. In your private moments when you see your scars, what do you think? What do you reflect on?
When I look at my scars, they're a reminder of what the doctors have done, what the amazing job that doctors have done.
And in turn, Terry plans to do something amazing with his life.
One day I want to be someone else's superhero, save their lives. Yeah.
While the scars that snake up Terry's arms are impressive, what's even more extraordinary is the range of motion that he is capable of. And it's all thanks to the efforts of an incredible medical team that swung into action back in 2005, trying to save both his arms and his left leg.
I received the call that the ambulance team were bringing in a 10-year-old boy who'd just had an accident, and they were transporting with him 3 limbs which were separated from the body in a bucket.
Hello there.
Dr. Robert Love is the plastic surgeon who led the medical team from Perth's Princess Margaret Hospital for Children.
If you look closely, the shoe is still on. That's the sole of the shoe, and this is the very first thought that goes through your mind is incredulity. Surely it's not 2 whole hands and a foot. How could that possibly have happened?
Seeing Terry just days after his catastrophic injury, it's amazing just how calm and composed he is, particularly when you consider he is only 10 years old.
I am really, really lucky.
In what way could it have been worse?
Like, it couldn't have chopped up here where my elbow were, and it could even chop my head off.
Terry was doing what countless other Aussie kids were doing in backyards that weekend, shooting hoops with friends and showing off a little by dunking the ball. But as he grabbed the ring, the wall came loose.
I remember every detail of the accident. It's like it was yesterday. Jumping out for that slam dunk, everything going in slow motion, getting up off the floor and falling back down again, seeing all my friends that were there, scared, running, and all I could think of was, is this really real? Like, is this really happening?
The situation is critical. Terry is suffering terrible blood loss. His life is in the balance. As an ambulance speeds to the scene, someone has the foresight to wrap Terry's 3 severed limbs and place them in an esky filled with ice.
I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't do anything. I stayed calm.
Okay, we've got a 10-year-old boy with amputation of both arms and his left leg.
Okay, Terry, we're just about to move you across onto the bed on the other side.
The time is very, very much against you, and you realise very quickly that the clock is ticking.
It's 9 p.m. Saturday on an Easter long weekend. Yet Dr. Love manages to gather a team of 19 specialists around the operating table. 3 separate teams of surgeons prepare to simultaneously reattach Terry's 2 hands and his left foot.
Have the micro instruments, please.
Do we need to get some more of this rubble out?
Yep.
All right.
We're going to let it bleed out of the back, so he'll lose a little bit of blood.
Just 9 hours after the accident, the limbs are reattached.
Looks good, Roger.
There's a lot of people out there sending you cards and wishing you well.
Terry's reattached hands are doing well, but after a week there is a terrible setback with his left foot. Surgeons decide it has to be amputated.
If you can just imagine that the muscles then really died from the inside out, such that the skin was still alive, the blood vessel was still flowing, but the foot was very slowly becoming crippled.
In terms of your leg, does that slow you down in any way?
It only slows me down when the actual leg breaks.
Well, how many times has that happened to you?
I think twice. But I always have spares. It's really weird to say I have spare legs, but yeah.
Okay, and swing your legs around this way, so wiggle around this way.
Just 2 weeks after the accident, and Terry is taking his first steps in his road to recovery, supported in a specially designed frame.
Behind you, mate. Right, you tell us when we've done enough and you want to go back, okay?
It's simply extraordinary watching Terry as he tackles every challenge that's thrown at him.
No, you're okay. I need you to stand tall. You need a hop. Okay, let's keep moving.
From standing in his special frame to encouraging movement in his fingers.
You ready? Set.
10.
No, 10's too hard.
No.
Does it hurt when they come out?
Yeah, a little bit.
Taking out the stitches, I remember clearly. I think you guys were there when we did it. It was painful, but I was on TV, so I had to keep a straight face.
Show me this one.
After the operation, Terry endures 6 months of constant rehabilitation and therapy as his scars heal and his fingers strengthen.
How much practice have you had to do to be able to tie your shoelaces? That's it. Very nice.
I mean, you made it look easy, Terry. Do you remember how hard it was?
The people around me that supported me, they just made it so enjoyable that I totally forget about all the hard work. So, to me, the 6 months that I was in hospital was all good memories.
It's a tribute to the efforts of all the specialists involved that Terry can now physically achieve whatever he sets his mind to.
I have a lot of hobbies. I like to draw, paint, sing, dance, play basketball, badminton, tennis. I recently picked up archery.
How hard is it to do something like archery, having had the injury that you've had?
Archery, it's more your back strength and your finger strength to grab onto the strings. It really tires you out, but then my friends tried it and it also tires them out, so it's not tiring me out because of my accident or anything.
And while his archery skills are impressive, take a look at this. And how do you expect your doctors and your occupational therapists and physiotherapists to react when they see you doing your big karate chop, using those precious hands of yours in that way?
A part of me wants to see their reaction being scared because, you know, it's pretty funny.
So it's not like you're saying, right, I know I have to be extra careful of these. I lost them once. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to lose them again.
That thought rarely comes to mind whenever I'm doing something. I'm just enjoying the moment. If I see something that's too hard, then I'll sit back, think about it, and then just do it anyway.
Today, we're hitting the road. Are you aware that you have a prosthetic leg? Is that something you're constantly aware of?
No, I sometimes forget.
Terry's taking me to visit someone he hasn't seen in 10 years. His occupational therapist, Angela Chu.
Hi.
How are you going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Wow. So long.
You look really good. Yeah,
Thank you.
Great. It's so nice to see you.
I guess you want to see his hands, do you?
Yeah. Well, I'll be a therapist for a minute and just check you out. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it feels good. Feels great.
I mean, do you remember that 10-year-old boy? He was so committed right
Yeah,
from that
definitely.
stage, or was that just an act for the TV
No,
cameras?
he was. He was just, you know, Terry was always just happy to participate and join in, and the whole aim was just to get Terry using his fine motor motion and prep him so he'd be able to write, to be able to, you know, type on a computer, to be able to do his own shoelaces. But
How are the
that's really
shoelaces
cool.
these days?
Piece of cake.
Which one? That's one.
The events of that day 10 years ago seem in many ways a distant memory. But for Terry's parents, Trang and Tam, the horror of that experience will haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Very scared. Just, oh. Yeah, horrible. Yeah, but now.
No, happy.
Now happy.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
You've been a witness too to your parents
Yeah.
and how they've coped over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What have you seen in them?
I've seen incredible strength. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, and I don't have a child or anything, but seeing if that was to happen to my brother, it's just heartbreaking. And I really don't know how they got through it, but they're incredibly strong, very supportive, and yeah, they're just incredible people.
Perhaps his parents' strength is reflected in Terry. His determination to succeed, whatever the challenge, is absolute.
So next week you will back to school, right? Yeah, back to uni.
Recently, he finished a degree in science and he is now studying medicine at the University of Western Australia. His ambition is to become a neurosurgeon. How realistic is your ambition to be a surgeon?
It's very realistic. I've always wanted to be a doctor.
Dr. Love, for instance, the doctor who helped you so importantly in those early days, has he assessed your hands? Does he tell you whether you've got the hands of a surgeon or not?
He tells me repeatedly that he believes that I can become a surgeon. He's always encouraged me to pursue medicine. I believe I can do it.
Mm-hmm. How would you deal with it if you're told no?
Work harder.
Many adults couldn't have coped after suffering a life-changing injury like Terry's. His resilience as a 10-year-old boy and his enthusiasm for life as a 21-year-old man are a lesson to us all to embrace every opportunity that comes our way. What do you think has been the reason you've always wanted to be a doctor?
So many amazing doctors have saved me, and they're like my heroes, like my own personal superheroes. So one day I want to be someone else's superhero, save their lives, make their lives so much better than it could have been. It's just that thought that keeps me going.
It's a good thought to have.
Yeah.
To be a superhero one day.
Yeah. Every kid's dream, right?
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.